Hey everyone, Richard Taylor here. We have some breaking Final Cut Pro news. The Final Cut Pro Creative Summit dates are changing. They have changed. I'll be with you in 1 minute for the details. Okay, here we are back. Final Cut Pro Radio TV Live. So the FCPX Summit originally was scheduled for November the 8th through the 10th. And I've just heard from Future Media Concepts, and they changed those dates. Very interesting. Let me see here. The new dates are November the 7th through the 9th, which is interesting because that is now, that's now, instead of being Friday through Sunday, that's now Thursday through Saturday. Very interesting. Let me just double check the calendar here. So the good news is that I will be coming to the summit again for my 4th year. Final Cut Pro Radio will be reporting live from the summit, behind the scenes kinds of things. I'm not going to be doing the actual presentations, of course. So the 7th is Thursday, 8th, 9th. So now it's Thursday through Saturday. Traditionally, it has been Friday through Sunday. So if you've made your plans, you have to change them. I actually have to change my airfare, my flight I have to change. So very interesting. And the reason that they've done that is because they wanted to accommodate getting into the Juniper for those dates. That's the reason. So even their website's not updated yet. The website still says November 8th through the 10th, but I've heard directly from Future Media Concepts that the new dates for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit are now November the 7th through the 9th. So the first thing I'm going to do is change my airfare. I've already booked my airfare, and this will mean I have to change it. I think some other people that have booked as well, although some people probably are already waiting for more information, perhaps, for this before they book for the summit. So those people will be fine, I think. Let me see if I can get that a little closer. There we go. Breaking news. The summit dates have changed. I hope that doesn't mess too many people up if you already booked your airfare. Like I said, I've already booked mine. I will be at the summit again, reporting from the summit live like I have for the last 4 years, Final Cut Pro Radio. So what do you think? It's always there's a lot of, when you book something like this, there's a lot of things that are being juggled in the air. So I know the reason that they wanted to change, they've been trying to accommodate to be at the Juniper, which they've done. Let me just check this out. Copy. So they have done that at the Juniper. They have, my mouse stopped working. They have, I know they wanted to book all the days at the Juniper, so apparently they've done that. Let me just do that. I think that's all. There we go. So we're back on the chat. So if you have any comments, I hope everybody has not, this isn't really that much of an inconvenience. Most airlines, I'm booking on an airline that allows date changes, especially this far in advance. So if you haven't booked yet, you're fine. It's now Thursday through Saturday, which might actually be a little better. Maybe I'll stay through Saturday this time. Usually I'll leave Sunday morning the last couple of times. So that'll be very interesting. Let me see something. Let me see. Tony says, what does he say? Torgrim Grimstad says, loud and clear in Norway. That's great. He says, why the changes? Well, the changes are to accommodate the schedule so we can be at the Juniper Hotel. If you've never been at the Juniper Hotel, it's a great, fantastic place to do the summit. It really is. The hotel help couldn't be nicer. It's a great location. There's stores and restaurants all around there. So they apparently just couldn't work out Friday through Sunday at the Juniper. That's the reason. The same they'll have the same people there, I'm sure, a lot of the same attendees and presenters. I will be covering the things I normally cover, which is behind the scenes. I do film a little bit of the presentations, but that's not for broadcast. That's just for behind the scenes kinds of things. I'll drop into a presentation and do a little filming behind the scenes. I'll interview people, especially at it'll probably be Thursday night, the exhibitors lunch and dinner thing that they have where they have food and you get to see all the exhibitors. I presume that's going to be Thursday night. Maybe it's still going to be Friday night. Don't know. But what else I don't know is I don't know if we're going to see Apple on Friday. I think maybe we're going to see them on Thursday now. Don't know the schedule. The schedule has not been cemented yet, so that will be forthcoming. I'm just trying to check. So the website still says the 8th through the 10th, but that's not accurate anymore. Very, very interesting. So, Final Cut Pro Creative Summit dates have changed. November the 7th through the 9th. Thursday through Saturday this year. I like the Juniper, so that's okay with me. I'll have to change my airfare, my flight plans, that's all, and then maybe it'll be better. So that's very interesting. I will be there this year. Once again, this will be my 4th year covering this event. Let me see with another comment. Torgrim says, will Apple attend? I'm sure Apple's going to be there. There's last year there was 2 separate Apple events. Okay, the first was we go to Apple HQ. Well, actually 3. We visited the big park center. We visited their visitor center. Let me see something here. Check 1, check 2. So we visited their visitor center. We got to see that. And you got a chance to buy things from there, Apple shirts and stuff. Now, we also went to Apple HQ. At Apple HQ, we hear from the team themselves the latest and greatest and fun. They do an actual presentation. The first time I was there, the entire team was in the room. I'm not sure where that's going to be. I presume that's going to be now on Thursday. Don't know for a fact. We'll find out more as time goes on. We will find out the schedule, and of course, I'll be reporting back to you there. To here, I'll be reporting back live. Breaking news. The dates for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit have changed. They are now Thursday, November the 7th through Saturday, November the 9th. I wonder how that's going to change my flights. When I get off here, I'll change my flights. Very, very interesting. But it is to accommodate, I know they wanted to do all 3 days at the Juniper. Last time we did lunch at another one place. We had to take a bus over, and so we weren't at the Juniper for the first day. I'm going to presume that everything's going to shift. Instead of being Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, on Fridays, a day we go to the Apple campus. We see in the afternoon, we go see Apple campus. I'm going to presume that that's now going to be Thursday. We'll find out as they release the schedule, but this will be Thursday will now be the new Friday, so to speak. So I'm going to presume we're going to see in the morning, we'll have a presentation. We'll go over the schedule for the weekend, and we'll go see Apple Thursday afternoon, maybe. I'm sure that's part of the equation, but it'll all happen around the Juniper. We won't be going to, last time we went to a country club to have lunch. This time, apparently, we're going to stay at the Juniper. So that's good news. I like the Juniper. I think people have probably not scheduled their flights yet, so it's not going to affect them. And it is at the Juniper, so that's good. We know that for a fact. Last year, John Cleese was at the Juniper when we were there. I got a picture of him. I've reported on it live. So if there's no other questions or anything, I will jump on here whenever something breaking like this happens. I just got an email from FMC telling me about this. So I came right on the Final Cut Pro Radio TV Live studio, which is right here. This is my upstairs studio. I also have a downstairs studio. But this is my upstairs studio. Downstairs studio is still under construction. I still have to finish up a few things. So once again, the FCPX Creative Summit dates have changed. They're now November the 7th to the 9th, Thursday through Saturday. That might work out better for people. I like it. I like traveling on a Saturday and getting home rather than traveling on the Sunday. So once again, Final Cut Pro Radio will be there this year once again. And somebody's typing a question. I will answer that. Let me just check on something to see what's going on with the YouTube channel. I don't know. Let me just check, see if there's anything happening there. And also on Periscope. This has also been on Periscope, so we'll see. Let me just see. Live now. Breaking news. Date change. There we go. Yes, we're live on YouTube, of course. And we're live on Periscope as well. Let me just double check that real quick to make sure. Not that I'm going to change anything, but breaking news. Yep, we're on Periscope as well. So Alex Gollner retweeted this breaking news, summit date change. Alex, does that mean you're going to be able to go? I know there was a problem with the original dates. I'm not sure if that means that Alex can now go to this or not. It might still be overlap. So Torgrim says, what is the price for the summit? So the price for the summit is, let me just pull that up real quick. Price for the summit. There's two separate prices. Number one is the summit itself, which, let me just pull that up real quick. I have a coupon code. So the price for the summit, there's two separate price tracks for the summit. Let me pull that up on screen. Let me just do this real quick. I'm going to pull that up. So the price for the summit is the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit Full Conference Pass is $925, right? Yes, it is. And there's a second track now where they are going to record the presentations probably on Friday and Saturday now, but it's only going to be for the attendees of the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. So the price without the recordings are $925, and you can save 10% with the discount code FCPX Radio 19. Save $90 with that code. So it'll bring it down closer to $900. And if you want the recordings of the sessions, it'll be $995, and once again, 10%. That'll get you almost $100 off of that. Or once again, it'll bring it back down to $900 for the summit. Now, the second thing is, though, you'll need a place to stay. So you have to book a hotel room separate from that. That's the actual price of the Future Media Concept. FCPX Summit discount code FCPX Radio 19. Pretty darn cool. But you can find out more, of course, at fcpxcreativesummit.com. That's where you find out more. Although if you go there now, the dates are still, when I last checked, were not updated. Let's see. Still says November the 8th to the 10th. So therefore, those dates are now, haven't been updated yet. But you can get the discount code, save 10%, FCPX Radio 19. Save yourself $100. So day 2 and 3, non-Apple sessions and the keynote will be recorded. Those are the sessions typically are from Steve Martin, Mark Spencer, a bunch of other people who present. You're not going to get the Apple presentation. And the non-Apple is what you're going to get. So last year we had 2 Apple events that happened. We got to go to the campus to see the actual Final Cut Pro team. They presented at the campus. They show us the latest and greatest. Look, I'm going to say that 10.5 is going to be out, Final Cut Pro 10.5. Apple has already announced an update to Final Cut Pro for the fall. This is part of the fall. I'm going to presume it's 10.5, and I'll tell you why. A typical update cycle between Final Cut Pro updates, full number updates, is 18 months. If they update it this fall, it's going to be closer to 2 years between major updates, full number updates. So therefore, I'm going to say it's going to be 10.5, which means it's going to be a major update, not just a few features update. So that'll be very, very cool. I'm looking forward to 10.5. I have no idea what's going to be in 10.5. I don't know if anybody knows except for the team itself. Very, very cool. Let's see what's going on over there. There we go. So that's cool. So Alex Gullner says he can't make it this time either. The dates didn't make any changes. But Alex, we can have you on Final Cut Pro Radio TV if you want to come on. You've been on here before. We'll bring you on there. I will be doing behind-the-scenes kinds of things. So anyway, that's breaking news. Let me pull that up again. Final Cut Pro Summit dates changed. They're now November the 7th through the 10th. If there's no other questions, I'm going to sign off here. By the way, we have Final Cut Pro's Saturday meetups occasionally. Last week we had one with Bill Davis, Tony Gallardo, Brad Olson, and myself, and we have 1,000 views of that video. So they're pretty popular. They get a lot of views. It's very popular. You know, I just decided to go on at the last minute. It's not wasn't planned. I was just bored and said, let me see who's available, and talked to my friends, texted them, and they came on. So anyway, once again, breaking news, the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit dates have changed. They've shifted by one date earlier in the week. I'm going to get off and change my airfare. But Final Cut Pro Radio TV Live will be at this will be our 4th Creative Summit. I will start reporting as soon as I get there, maybe from the airport, and mostly behind the scenes kinds of things. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll have coffee with everybody, I'll talk to people that know what's going on as far as I know. Monitor, that's a little too hot. And we'll go from there. I think it's going to be a great summit. I am expecting Final Cut Pro 10.5 to be released sometime this fall, whether it's close to the summit or whether it's before the summit. I'm sure we'll get the presentation. We'll get the presentation from the Final Cut Pro team at the Apple HQ. So the other thing that happened last year, so there's 2 things that happened with Apple. We go to Apple campus. We hear from the Final Cut Pro team. Last year, we also got a session at the Juniper with the Final Cut Pro team and the attendees of the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. That's worth the price of admission right there, having a one-on-one. This was not them presenting to us. This was a Q&A, a back and forth. We could submit questions in advance. They would do their best to answer them. They would ask us questions. It was a very informal setting. That is fantastic. I hope they do that again. But, so last year we had 2 separate Final Cut Pro events. Final Cut Pro team events. The team was there. I'm going to get off here now. It's been a while. I'm going to, one more time, FCPX Creative Summit dates change, November the 7th through the 9th. Hopefully this will be the last change, right? But anyway, if there is breaking news, I will come back on and let everybody know. I appreciate everybody tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter, Richard Taylor TV on Twitter, or FCP Radio 1. You can go to FCPRadio.com, of course, and in iTunes you can catch the broadcast. The last broadcast we had Chris Fenwick on, the last Final Cut Pro Radio broadcast. I didn't know he was driving in his car, but he was. So anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Richard Taylor signing off.